Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 205. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane, Cody, and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. Welcome everybody to episode 205. If you have never been here before, we like to talk about the video games. Of course, a couple other things I talked about just before this. Usually we start the show with our BS section, which we are knee deep in. Get into some what you've been playing, talk about the games me and Dane are wasting our lives away on.
Speak for yourself, man.
Then we get into our news and stuff section.
Living my
public
best
service
life over
announcements. Pardon?
Living my best life over here.
Living your best life. Oh yeah, we're not wasting our life away. We're playing video games. We're enjoying life to the fullest.
Hell yeah.
Living our best lives, like Dean said. And then we get into our free-for-all section. BS section. It was a long weekend here in Canada.
Yeah, it'll be a long weekend upcoming for our American friends this coming weekend.
Which weekend is it?
Memorial Day for them.
Memorial. Yeah.
Yep.
I
I love how they're a week apart.
It's kind of fun.
Couldn't have got together and figured out, hey, like, you know. But anyways.
We didn't get up to anything too exciting. Birthday party. Went inside to detect Pikachu.
Pika. We went to the driving range.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shot some balls. Kind of
Love
sore
shooting
still.
balls.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, it was fun. Been a while since I've been. It was pretty sore afterwards.
I suck at golf.
Golf's hard, man. Golf's a lot harder than most people think.
It's a
If you've never played, it's like it's surprisingly difficult.
It's a stupid a fucking game.
Hit the ball, it goes. You just hit a walnut into a gopher hole. What the hell, man?
It's a stupid a fucking game.
It's a lot of fun. Shell had never tried golfing, so we hit the driving range. She learned to whack some walnuts. We didn't bother with the gopher hole part, but one step at a time. So
I like golf, but I just suck at it, and it's expensive, and I hate sucking at things that ain't cheap.
It's expensive, but if you don't do it, then you're never going to get better at it.
Yeah, see, I don't like it enough to even attempt to try to get better at it.
See? So there you go. I don't know. Going to the driving range is fun, though. If you got a set of clubs, or even if you don't, you can generally borrow, you can usually borrow, some clubs or whatever and whack at some balls. That part of it's not, that part of it isn't that expensive. Like, you can usually, whack away at a bunch of balls for an hour or so, and it costs you, $10 or whatever. That part of it's not bad. It's once you actually decide, I'm going to play some golf.
Get a golf cart, go to Bear Mountain, which is a big-ass expensive. Well,
yeah.
Expensive. There's lots of expensive golf courses here, because guess what?
It is very expensive.
Victoria
I've stayed
the one place
there
in the country that has golf all year long.
Yes.
So there's some pretty exquisite golf courses here.
Bear Mountain is a PGA tournament grade, whatever. I know they do play the PGA tournaments there. It is very expensive. I believe when I was there, this is going off memory, so don't murder me, but if I remember correctly,
it's upwards
it was
of $100.
Oh, dude, it was $280 for if you're not staying there. I believe if you were staying there, you got a discount. It was $220 or something like that for the day. And that was for 18 holes.
It's probably less if you know someone who's part of the club or whatever, but still, they got the cool golf carts. It's like a video game. They have the full GPS overview map.
Dude, it's a nice course. It's really nice, but it's just expensive as balls.
So yeah, it was a relaxing long weekend.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Pretty much spent Monday sitting at home in my underwear playing video games. So that's always a good day.
Can't remember what I did on Monday. The weather wasn't so great. Anyway.
It was perfect for sitting at home without pants on playing video games.
It was.
So
let's talk about what you've been playing.
I'm really curious. You've got something on the line here, and it's you've said it, and then afterwards you're like, nope.
Do you remember Blades? The Skyrim-esque mobile game.
Oh, it was literally, wasn't it called
Yeah, it's called Blades.
Skyrim Blades or Elder Scrolls Blades. That's Whatever. What it was. That's what threw me off. I just saw the Blades and I was like, what is Blades?
So Teacup's been playing it a bunch.
Okay.
And, you get your...
Was he lying to you? Did he tell you, like, ooh, it's great, you should play?
No, I played it. Remember, I played a tiny bit, and I didn't play enough to really give a full-on, impression. Because I only played maybe an hour or something.
Right.
So I'm like, I should give it another go. I haven't touched it in a while. So I went to go play it, and then there was an update.
Oh, yeah.
And then I lost all my progress.
Oh, awesome.
And that's why I put nope. You know how you get me to quit your goddamn game? Lose my fucking progress. Yeah, I stopped playing your game.
Oh, that's rough.
I was super... I think I hit level 5 or something. I put a little bit of time into it. Not a lot, but...
Yeah.
I definitely didn't like it enough to be like, I'm doing that shit over again. So, Yep, nope. See, that's how you definitely get me stop playing your game.
Yeah,
and again, it's it's a free to play mobile game, so there's no investment. So it's like whatever. Okay, I'm done. Next.
Fair enough.
I'll probably try playing this other game that you're going to talk about in a little bit. But I did beat Rage 2.
Sweet.
I beat it on Monday. Yeah.
Nice. See?
My family left me alone for a little bit, so I did get a little bit of a gaming session on Monday.
It's always what those are good for.
I don't think I have much to add. 21 hours.
Okay, it's not super long, but it's a decent length.
I think I could have cut 4 or 5 hours off if I mainlined the story.
Mainlined? Yeah.
Because I did a lot of side stuff because I was unlocking some of the nano trade abilities, specifically cooldowns and upgrades to the abilities.
Right.
So I got it to a point where my abilities were quite frequent.
Okay, so
with
the cooldown was
cooldowns, and then but it also worked with the overcharge ability, causing some cooldown reduction. So I'd use my Shatter Fist and send guys flying, and I had it pumped up where I could do 2 of them. And then I had my Slam ability where I could do 2 of those. Okay. So I'd be double jumping, ground pounding, killing a bunch of guys at once, throw in my Gravity Well kind of item thing. I can't remember what they call that stupid ability, but essentially
it sucks all the guys to it.
It would suck the guys into a little explosion, and then he'd be suspended in the air, and you could just pick them out of the air.
Just shoot them.
And then the shatter was the force push.
Nice.
And there was a shield ability as well, which is just totally useless. It was just dumb. I never used it.
Right.
I got to a point where I was so powerful, I took no damage. I could just annihilate camps. I was playing normal difficulty, but I'd shatter guys, ground slam, use my overcharge, which, you do more powerful attacks. You get a health, you regain some health, and then it also buffs your cooldown, so then it makes it even quicker to using your abilities again, and just getting this loop of powers, overkill or overcharge, powers, overcharge, and it's just I'm unstoppable destroying these guys. And it's kind of fun because their heads pop, they gib real good,
right?
And then it's just hey, I'm at the end boss and I'm done. And the story was super unmemorable, and the end boss was your classic multi-stage boss. It was literally no challenge. I didn't feel threatened at all because I was killing everything so easily. Because I was quite powerful. I upgraded totally mostly everything OP, to the max. Sorry?
You're totally OP.
Oh, I was very OP. But I don't know, it's normal difficulty, so they're normal. It's quite easy.
But part of the fun in that type of a game, isn't it kind of to be
yeah,
OP
it is causing that havoc and effing everything up. Absolutely.
So that you feel like a total badass and you're jumping in and doing all that, right?
What did I say last week? I said what? It was a 7? I still stick by that.
You've given it a full-on score, but you said it was enjoyable because the shooting and stuff was really good, but a lot of the other stuff was kind of meh.
It's a 7. It's a solid rent me. Not that renting really exists anymore.
Right.
I kind of regret buying it. I'm never going to play it again.
Right.
So I should have just gotten it from the library for PS4 or Xbox One. But then again, that's the only way if you can get it from your local library. We were lucky enough here to have essentially a free video store. But yeah, you can't really rent. No one rents games anymore, do they? I guess they have GameFly in the States. but not in Canada. There's like no rental places.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, it's a solid rental, though you can't rent it. So
what you're saying is wait and get it on sale if you're really bored.
If you really like Doom and you like that mindless, violent shooter, definitely maybe check it out on sale, but I wouldn't pay full pop for it because it's, I don't know, like now that I'm done, I really have no desire to go back. I don't care. There's like a million icons on the map and it's like, no,
just have no desire to go back and like do all that.
I saw credits. The voice acting's terrible. The story is just like, who gives a shit? Like I got to a point where I just I skipped every cutscene.
Right. Because you're just like, whatever.
Just bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the gameplay loop was kind of fun because you were effing shit up.
Right. Okay. Well.
And then I got another game I can't talk about.
Oh, well, good job. Way to bring it up here when you can't talk about it.
I'll talk about it on next week's podcast.
All right. Fair enough.
We did play some Division 2.
I'm in playing some Division 2.
Cupper in end game.
Okay, you hit level 30?
Yeah, we're like, he's like item, I guess, gear score 302 or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like 297, I think I ended at.
Wow.
So we're quite low. We're like I think we're World Tier 1. Maybe we hit World Tier 2.
Right.
I don't even know how that shit works.
Well, the higher world tier, better the loot drops.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
After you beat the game, the whole map gets taken over by baddies again, and you essentially go do a bunch of the strongholds and stuff again.
Right.
So we're kind of in that, and I'm kind of like, have no idea what's going on. I'm like, what's going on? Everything's all red again. We cleared this stuff all out. And I noticed there's some classified missions on our map, and I heard that's part of like the year one content stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So I guess the version Ubisoft gave me was the version that comes with the season pass, though it doesn't really reflect in Uplay that I have like the gold version or the ultimate. Like I have no idea.
Right.
But apparently those missions are only for people who have the year one pass.
Interesting.
So I don't know. We didn't actually do it, or I didn't attempt to do it. So I just noticed there was a new blue icon on the map.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I am still a long ways from even. Let's see. I think I did play a little bit of Division 2 on the weekend as well. I think I hit level 14.
Oh yeah, you got a ways to go.
Yeah, I got a ways. I'm almost halfway to 30, I guess, technically. That game continues to be really good. I feel like it's growing on me a little bit. I gotta have the right amount of time though to play it. Like I don't know what it is. I need to be able to sit down and like put a bunch of time aside for it. Just because I feel like otherwise I don't get anywhere. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But like the other night I saw that you guys were on and I'm like, oh, I'm sure they're like so far away from where I am. Like I'm not going to worry about it. I've been predominantly playing most of it sort of like, I guess not single player necessarily because that game is not really a single player game, but alone more or less by myself or whatever. So it's good. It's something I'm definitely going to like plink away at. I definitely want to like, I hear sort of the game does a big, not a 180, but it like you said, like that level 30 and stuff
have gotten a lot more difficult.
Yeah. I've heard all that stuff's like really interesting and stuff. So I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where I'm going to tackle a raid because like that shit sounds pretty intense and you got to have a huge amount of time set aside.
We'll talk about that in our news section. We got a story about the raid.
Yeah. But yeah, so last week, here in Canada, at least Best Buy was doing a like video game sale. And anyways, I picked up Dragon Quest 11 for PS4.
Yeah, you did.
For like $29. And, so I popped that in on Monday and I was like, all right, I've got a whole day here to just play some RPG goodness. Man, that game is good.
Yeah, I didn't get very far in that game. I think I only played like 2 hours. I really need to go back. So
I am 5 hours in now. Or 5.5 hours in. Sorry. I am really liking it. It feels old school in all the right ways, new school in all the right ways, if that makes any sense. So there's not over hand-holding like they tend to do in video games now. There's a little bit of like, you have a conversation with somebody and they say, hey, you should go here and do this thing. And you're like, okay, cool. So then, but there's not like this icon on your map that's constantly like blinking or anything like that. It's just kind of assumed like you're going to go, okay, well, I got to go over there now. Like, so then you'll go over there. And once you get kind of closer, there'll be something that sort of helps you along or whatever. Like, it's really good about that. I'm loving the combat. There's not random encounters, which is fucking awesome. I'm loving that. No random encounters. You can see all the enemies. They're there. You can run into them. You can attack them if you want. You can avoid them if you want. You can really fight as many baddies. Obviously, like, you in the back of your head, you're like, this is an RPG. Like, I am going to need to level up and stuff. So, like, you're not going to run away from everything. But at the same time, you don't want to necessarily have to fight everything that you come across either. And that's what I love about sort of the not having random encounters, because it's all there. You can sort of choose like, okay, I'm going to fight, like, hey, you can look at your watch and go like, okay, I have an hour of time to play. So I'm just going to go in here. And like, if you want, you can like, I'm going to move the story forward a little bit. Like, the save points aren't super far apart, which has been really nice. Like, the other night I played for a few hours before I went to bed. And it was, I felt like I managed to get somewhere, get some stuff done, move some stuff forward, and then save and, go to bed. And like, it's so good though. I love the look. It's got such a unique, it looks like Dragon Quest, obviously, like that art style, like that artist. I can never remember his name. Japanese artist. He's been doing like all of the Dragon Quest games since the first one. He totally did the art here. It's got that distinct look, but at the same time, it's so clean and it looks so crisp. It feels like you're playing an anime, which is awesome. It hasn't been like overly difficult, but it also hasn't just been a cakewalk either. Like, I feel, at least for me, like the difficulty level's been kind of good. Like, combat is what you might say is kind of simplistic. Like, you have, at least right now, I have only a party of one with me. Like, I have one other character in my party. And, I generally just attack. Like, I make my attack decisions for my character, but they do their attack decisions kind of on them. But you can, if you want, you can go in and you can change sort of the tactics for the fight. And so you can say like, oh, I want different things to happen. You can kind of say like, I want us to play more offensive. I want us to play more defensive. When I like get below a certain health, I want you to like to heal me, like all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of set that up depending on how granular you want to get, and how, so far I've left it kind of on default, and I'm just doing my thing, and my AI partners have been doing their thing, and it's been fine. I apologize to everybody. This stupid fucking cough will not go away.
Dane's dying.
And yeah. But no, I'm really liking Dragon Quest XI. Like, it feels to me like what I would want from a Japanese RPG now. Like, it feels like it respects my time. It feels like I can go in, I can carve out an hour or two here and there. I can still kind of move things forward. Like, at least so far, like I said, I'm still early in a game that, like, if any of the other Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy games is anything to go by, this could very easily be a 60, 80, even 100-hour game. So, 5 hours in is like a drop in the bucket. But at least so far, that's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I know people who've beaten it, and they're 100 hours plus or minus.
Oh, I could definitely see how you could get there. the story so far is really quite interesting. You know, we'll see where it goes and how they take some stuff or whatever. But at least right now, I'm really liking it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool idea. So, so definitely stay tuned. I definitely like it is. It's what I needed. I've been kind of looking for like a good JRPG. Like I, you know, back in the day when I had time to spend playing 100+ hour JRPGs, I was a huge fan, and I just haven't played a lot of them as of late. So this really feels like they're hitting all the right buttons, at least for me, to just be like, hey, you know, you played hundreds of hours of Final Fantasy VII. Well, come on back, and all the things that you kind of hated about that, we're going to get rid of, and all the things that you liked about that, we're going to keep, and welcome to Dragon Quest XI. And I'm like, hell yeah.
See, now that I forgot this game's coming out for Switch, the definitive edition, and I'm just like, it's going to be full pop. It's going to have Switch tax.
So like the thing for me with that,
and I already own it.
It just looks so good on PS4. Like I don't,
of course,
I wouldn't want that fidelity to drop at all. Like I feel like part of it to me is that crisp, clean, like it looks like that anime. The game's got such a good look to it. And I love the character design, the enemy design. Oh, it's so good. There's been a bunch of times where I've almost felt bad attacking some of the enemies because they're so bloody cute. I'm just like, oh, but you're so cute. I don't want to take my sword, bitch.
I should try going back to play it so we can talk about it some more.
But man, it is definitely, it's one of those things where I'm thinking about it when I'm not playing it, which is a good sign for me, at least. Like, sign. You know, when I'm like sitting there thinking like, oh, I wonder if I was to like go over there, like, you know what I mean? Like you're just kind of thinking a bit ahead and stuff like that. So yeah.
I forgot, because just what you said, you think about it when you're not playing. So I beat Rage 2, and then I'm like, oh, what do I play now?
Right.
I forgot that I started playing Mortal Kombat 11 again. So I'm like,
nice.
I think I'm halfway through the story mode now.
Okay.
So on the main menu, it shows you like the different little chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how many boxes there are, but I know I'm halfway through the boxes on the menu.
Nice. Get over here.
Man, that story mode's ridiculous. It's pretty awesome. I can't believe how there's so many in-game, like in-engine cutscenes. Like,
yep.
It's unreal how much story there is in a stupid fighting game. Like,
do they do like the kind of quick time events like they did in 10, where like the story's happening and then like you have to kind of get involved?
They may have, and I maybe failed them because I wasn't paying attention because I was also doing shit on the computer at the same time. Because seriously, it's like Kojima level-esque cutscenes in between fights. So maybe I might have missed one, but I haven't seen one yet. There is prompts for choosing different characters.
Oh, so interesting.
You'll come to a fight, and it'll kind of do like a hold left or right to choose, you know, right. Scorpion in this fight, or you're going to be Sub-Zero. And as you're doing the story mode, you're unlocking like gear and weapons, and I guess weapon skins and stuff to use in the customization aspects of the game.
Right.
I did unlock, I guess just through playing story mode, I did unlock the new character that, I guess it's Frost or whatever. So I haven't gotten into any of the towers, any of the other modes. I've just been strictly playing story mode. And that game's a real pretty too.
Yeah.
The game's pretty rad. I wish other fighting games freaking did a better job of doing story modes like these guys, and just features and overall modes.
I've heard that the last, was it Tekken 7, I heard also had a pretty good story mode.
Yeah, I have Tekken 7 too, and I barely played it. My bad.
Sad.
Yeah, it's just too many freaking games.
Oh, I hear you. So the other game that I downloaded is called Pixel Puzzle Collection.
Yeah, you mentioned it in the Discord, and I totally glossed over it.
It's called Pixel Puzzle Collection, but it's a fucking Picross game.
It's from Konami.
So it's totally free.
It's not from nobody.
It's totally free. There's not in-game there's not microtransactions. It's just free. There are like advertisements or whatever that pop up from time to time, but like you easily like X out of them. It's not a big deal. It's completely free. It's called Pixel Puzzle Collection. It's the one published by Konami on the App Store, which, yes, I know, Konami made another video game, which in and of itself is wild. And then they just released this thing out there, and it is, like, if you're into Picross, which is like a logic puzzle number type game, it's a little bit like a cross between Minesweeper and a crossword puzzle, kind of. Like, it's rad. It's simple, but yet super complicated, and it works really well on the go. You just hit the buttons, and it's like, oh, if you've played a Picross game, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have. I can't remember the last one I played. I think I played one on 3DS, I want to say. It's
like, there's like a grid, and at the top of each line on the grid at the top, and then there's like the ones, there'll be a number along all of the grid at the top, and there'll be numbers along the side. And essentially it's like you have to fill in and try to figure out how many things to, like, how many squares to fill in. So, like, for example, if the grid is 10 by 10, you'll have, you know, the different spots will say, like, at the top along, you know, going down the side in the across, it'll say like 5, 4, or one will say 3 or 2 or whatever. And that'll tell you how many consecutive blocks need to be filled in that line. And then there's a similar thing in the top line, and all the stuff coming down it's a similar thing. And so, like, by looking at those, you're like, okay, well, this line here coming down, it's going to have 5 out of 10 that are going to need to be filled in consecutively. And so using, you know, logic and other things, you kind of like look at it, and it's, like I said, it's a little bit like a cross between a crossword puzzle and a little bit of like number with Sudoku kind of an idea, with a little bit of like Minesweeper, because you're like, okay, well, this one I don't need, I have too many in this one now, but I not enough in this one, and so on and so forth. Hard to explain over an audio podcast, super easy to learn, and fun as hell. These are great. They start you off easy with little 5x5 puzzles, and then they grow into like 10x10 puzzles, and then 15x15. And I'm assuming, I'm not 100% sure, I'm assuming it might go into 20x20. I've only hit the 15x15. And yeah, no, and when you're done, there's like a little picture that, like, it's like a pixel art from all the various like Konami games. So there's like, some of them are like sports, some of them are from like their various other properties, Castlevania, etc., etc. It's got dope like chiptune music from all the various like Castlevania games, and all the, well, not just Castlevania, but like all the various like old school Konami games. It's a surprisingly great collection. Like, I don't know, I'm amazed that, like, Konami being Konami, that they just threw this thing out there for free on like the App Store. Like, not even microtransactions, not even like, oh, here's another puzzle pack of 50 puzzles or whatever. Like, I've done probably, I don't know, 50 puzzles maybe, and I think it says that I've done 4.4%
Jesus
of all of them. So, like, well, when I say there's a lot, there's a lot.
The entire time you were talking, I downloaded it and played the first level.
There you go. See?
And I'm 0.2% complete.
It's addictive, though. They're really good. The difficulty kind of ramp is really solid. It's fun, straight up. Just go download it. If you own an iOS, or I'm assuming it's on iOS. I know it's on Android. Pixel Puzzle Collection by Konami. That's the one you want. Download it.
The ads are all just ads for other Konami games.
Right.
It seems like. Like they're advertising the Castlevania collection on PS4.
Right. But yeah, it's easy to use. It's fun to play. They're like little brain teasers. They're like the perfect amount of time, you know, if you're like on the can or you've got 5 minutes or whatever. They're like, it's a great mobile game to have on your phone. So there you go. I've been playing that a bunch as of late because it's just fun and easy and straightforward, and enjoyable.
Wait, mobile distractions are good.
Exactly.
Probably better than Pokemon Go and Fire Emblem Heroes.
Definitely. Definitely. So before we get into the news...
Yeah, we forgot to do something.
Do you want to go over this cool stuff up here?
Yeah, I totally forgot to do our housekeeping.
Which is why we're going to slot it in now.
I can't see what you highlighted for some reason. But anyway, yeah, I totally forgot to do housekeeping at the top of the show. So we bring to a close our episode 200 celebration.
Extravaganza.
I don't know. What did we give away? Like 10 or 12? Like PS4, PC, and
all
PC
kinds
games?
Of fun stuff.
Oh, and Switch games. Yeah, a couple Switch games. Our winners for our final draws. Horizon Zero Dawn. That's Aquatic Zero won that.
That's the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. Yes.
That I just going by his Discord name. These other two people, I assume, are new. I don't know their Discord names. If they made Discord names, if they even joined Discord, I don't know. But everybody's golf has gone to John S. And then the John. Inpatient Firewall 0 Hour VR bundle is going to Tony J. So I'll reach out to you guys via email and figure out how to get your games.
Yeah,
and
congratulations
to everybody. Part in that. That was awesome. That was super successful. I think going forward, I have to come up with a new. I was thinking like a new contest. I was thinking like maybe every month we just give away a game retail value of someone's choice. That's going to cost me a lot of money.
Or
Kinda
us.
Depends.
Hey, I could help.
Kind of depends how good it goes. Like maybe we try it, and if it gets a decent amount of entries and it works for helping promote the show, it might be a worthwhile endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reward the listeners, but also advertise the podcast. I was just thinking,
right?
Or maybe I could just hit up people, our awesome devs and publishers that have been hooking us up with stuff. Maybe they might want to contribute. We'll see. But I was thinking I might want to do something monthly. It'd be pretty fun.
I agree. That would be sweet.
So yeah, thanks for entering that, guys. I'll keep it tuned here for something new in the coming weeks. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Oh yes.
So let's get into the news and stuff. The news. So I saw this story the other day. This was everywhere, but sourcing the Kotaku story by our friend Jason Schreier. Sources say Call of Duty 2020 in upheaval as Treyarch takes over and plans Black Ops 5. So the Call of Duty games have been going, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward? Something like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been one of them making a game each year, right? So they've been on a 3-year cycle.
They're on a 3-year cycle. So for this year, they haven't unveiled this year's Call of Duty.
Not yet.
But this year, I assume, is Infinity Ward.
I believe that is correct. I believe
Infinity Ward, because last year was Black Ops 4, and before that was World War II, I think it was. Something like that. I believe that is right. That was Sledgehammer, so I would assume this year would be Infinity Ward. So for next year, it was supposed to go back to Sledgehammer. But Sledgehammer has been hemorrhaging devs, and their lead actually left to go make a new studio. Who is that with?
Well, because one of the founders of Sledgehammer, he got, the whole thing got a little bit convoluted, but they got moved into upper management within Activision, right?
Yeah, so they went to they've gone to a new studio for 2K, and they've taken a lot of the talent from Sledgehammer. Apparently, dozens of employees over the last few months have been, Sledgehammer's been hemorrhaging employees to this new studio. Because obviously they like their co-founders at Sledgehammer and what they were doing, so they went with them. Makes sense, right? Maybe they're sick of making Call of Duty games.
So then it sounded like It sounds like Raven Software was actually given the lead.
Yes.
On this newest...
with the fact that so many of the Sledgehammer talent has been leaving.
Right. So, if anybody doesn't remember, Raven, they've made a ton of games in years past, but since the Call of Duty kind of exploded back in the day with, I would say probably Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare or whatever, probably Call of Duty 4 Advanced, what is it called? Jeez.
Because Raven was primarily doing multiplayer support, right?
The first Modern Warfare game, right? That really kind of blew up and everybody went, holy shit, this is crazy. Anyways, they kind of became a support studio. Yeah. And they kind of helped build multiplayer, and they were doing a lot of that kind of stuff on the back end. And so they haven't really been building their own games in a long time. So it sounded like they were offered to give... It sounds like they gave creative freedom to Raven, and Sledgehammer was kind of working as support. They were kind of co-developing this new game. It sounds like... but it sounds like now Treyarch is coming and taking over the development of this new game. The whole thing sounds very
so as a result, basically Black Ops 5 is being moved up a year. Right. Treyarch's taking over, and I guess the remnants of the work that they were doing on their Cold War era single player campaign will be like a single player campaign for Black Ops 5 in 2020.
Interesting.
Which is hopefully it doesn't suffer for the shorter... I guess they did most of the work, so Treyarch's probably just coming in to help them tighten it up to make it release worthy, considering they're probably having issues with all that talent leaving.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's
interesting. And then there was mention of Activision's been really looking at free to play revenue model. Apparently, there was some speak of that taking place this year, maybe even with the next version. I'd heard that there was talks that they might release Black Ops 4, which is the one that came out last fall. There was talk that even though it sold well and everything, the big problem is that they're not seeing, I guess, the tail and they're competing against Apex, Fortnite, and PUBG, and those are all free and fun and fantastic games. And Black Ops is $60, $80 in Canada.
You can, if you only want the...
Oh, I guess, they have that cheaper version, the $40 version.
That's the one that doesn't have the zombies mode, right?
Well, it's still not $0 when the biggest competition on the block is free.
Sure, definitely.
So they're seriously taking a look at the free to play revenue model. So
I think that honestly, I think that they should have spun out the multiplayer into its own thing.
Yeah, we've said that before. I think we even said that with our Black Ops 4, as good as it is. I'm pretty sure we said months ago when I was playing it that this should be free to play. Why are people paying for this?
Yeah.
And zombies should have been $30 or something.
Yep.
But you could even make zombies free to play and probably even make more money than charging for it. So I don't know. It's a math problem they got to figure out. So it's going to be interesting because Activision's not at E3. They pulled their booth space, so they might be on someone's press conference. Well, they might be at Xbox's press conference because they ain't going to be at Sony's.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, where are they? Maybe they're in Microsoft's booth. That's going to be so weird with Sony not there, especially when the Call of Duty games, the last couple versions, have been all partnered up with Sony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting because there's a rumor that there's going to be a new Modern Warfare game.
I wonder if Sony's going to announce their own event during E3, kind of to just suck all the air out of the room.
Well, the weird thing is that normally Activision has their own Call of Duty thing, which is when they normally announce the new Call of Duty stuff.
Oh, they had an event last year, didn't they, for Black Ops 4?
It's usually like the World Series because like they have their whole esports around it, right? So normally when they do the big World Championship, that's when they do the big World Championship for the existing game, and that's when they usually announce like this is this fall's upcoming Call of Duty game, right? So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out over the next like month or so here because this whole thing sounds very interesting. But yeah, every fall for the past 15 years, Activision has put out a new Call of Duty game. That's crazy. So since 2012, they've followed a 3-year cycle for its 3 studios. With Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. Last year was Treyarch. This year's Infinity Ward. And then would have been next year being Sledgehammer. But, with that studio being in the predicament that it's in right now, who knows how that's going to work. Yeah. So. Well,
I think in a couple of weeks we should have our E3 predictions episode. The week before E3.
We have, what?
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Wow.
Yeah. Today's the second day of E3. 3 weeks.
Jeez.
Or by the time you guys listen to this, it'll be 3 weeks from now. Will be the last day of the show. Whew. So not the next episode, but the one after. I think we do our predictions. I don't have much to say about this next story. Destiny 2. Pew, 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 pew. This week of Destiny. We haven't had it in a long time. The next expansion comes out in 2 weeks. I think June 4th.
Sure.
They're nerfing a bunch of the most popular weapons, and the community is super pissed off. It's just all I have to say is it's a dumb move. Like I
feel like every time
Bungie hello Bungie,
this,
the fun police, ruining everything like normal.
This just feels very much like they just sort of get into a rhythm with like shit being good and people being happy about it, and then they go and do something stupid like this.
They can't balance their stuff. So they just wreck the weapons that everyone loves using. So I know, it just pissed me off. The community is super pissed. Like all the top streamers are like, this is not cool. I'm pretty sure. I wonder why. I'm pretty sure the player numbers are just. And then there's other stories I saw this week talking about because of this reminded everyone, and they're like, well, hopefully hopefully they don't take all our weapons away when Destiny 3 comes around because I'll just be done at that point. I really hope they don't. That would be the stupidest thing, but oh my god. Anyway, stupid Bungie. Screw you guys. I have doubts that this next expansion will be any better than the last one. It's kind of disappointing. It's sad.
Yeah.
Console players finally beat the Division 2 raid. That came out after we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
PC players beat it in 5 hours or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think like the end time is like 5-6 hours ish.
And then it apparently took like the whole weekend and like apparently like over 36 hours for the first team to beat it on PS4. Then the second team took 20, and then the Xbox showed a team clearing it in 17. But yeah, it got to a point. It's called Operation Dark Hours, and the Reddit was quite like flaming like usual.
For a while
where
people were complaining, saying it's impossible.
Yeah, they thought it was impossible, and maybe just console players just weren't prepared for it. It's an 8-player run. I guess it's pretty tricky, and maybe mechanics on PC or just the control mechanism for PC makes it a little easier.
Yeah, it sounds like part of it, I mean, from what I understand, part of it was like, I mean, it sounds like on PS4, part of it had to do with like interruptions due to Delta server errors and blue screen grain crashes during the raid. So some of that stuff apparently was really frustrating, but a big thing that I was reading about had to do with like the way that you were controlling and stuff, and like I guess there's a lot of like flipping back and forth and stuff like that on and people were saying like, part of that might have to do with like when you're using a mouse and keyboard, you can land important headshots, and 2, the players are being limited to 30 frames per second on console, whereas PC players are at a much higher frame rate. Also, like, I guess just the fact that, on mouse and keyboard, it's so much faster to spin around and attack guys behind you and stuff like that. I'm glad
they didn't patch the game or change anything. They might fine-tune it now that it's been beaten, but I'm glad they didn't cave in and change it, because I'm sure they play-tested it. Like, there's no way they didn't play-test it.
Oh, I'm sure they play-tested it.
So it's like they knew it was beatable, but it was just funny how fast the internet just was like, it's impossible. And it's like, oh my God. It's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on PC now, apparently they're beating the raid in under 24 minutes. With, like, I guess, proper builds and knowing the encounters now.
Crazy.
I doubt I will be trying the raid anytime soon, considering I've only done one of the raids in Destiny out of 2 or 3 there is now.
Yeah,
so I don't see myself doing that anytime. I just don't have the time.
I don't have time.
I don't have 5-hour game sessions unless I call in sick and everyone goes to freaking work and leaves me at home. But
for me, part of the challenges is like just getting all my gear and shit raid ready, if you will.
Yeah,
I don't have time to do all that shit even. So
I don't even know what a good loadout is in Division 2. Like, I have no idea what a good loadout is. Anyway, remember how we talked about last week about Xbox and PlayStation making a little cloud deal?
We definitely went over that, yeah.
Apparently, many people, many at Xbox and the PlayStation teams were blindsided by this deal. And apparently, Nintendo is even reportedly prepping their own Microsoft deal. So clearly, all this cloud stuff, which Microsoft has been making big plays in, is paying off for them.
But I mean, I'm not surprised by this necessarily, because, like,
these were high level dealings.
These are, and I mean, and the thing is that there's, they're saying like, oh, there's a Microsoft, or they're saying like, they're calling it a deal. There really wasn't any deal made. I feel like people are kind of forgetting that literally all that has happened is like they've said that they're going to work together in the future, but like literally nothing has been signed. Like, it's a weird
deal to collaborate on cloud-based tech.
It's literally like what was the exact wording? Like, they're doing a partnership. It was like a memorandum of understanding or something like that. Like, it's very
basically let's make sure Google doesn't F us and we F them first.
Pretty much. Yep.
And then now the rumor is Nintendo's going to be getting in on that Microsoft action too. So very interesting. I guess that would be pretty like, what the?
Yeah. And I mean, who knows what that'll look like moving forward and stuff. And like, maybe actual deals will get made.
I think this is pretty far out, the fruits of this.
Well, and like I said, like whether or not actual deals get made and partnerships actually get signed and so on and so forth, that's a whole different thing, right? Like, or if Sony signs some stuff saying like, okay, well, we're going to agree
hardware and Microsoft running on Switch and PlayStation.
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting moving forward. But yeah,
PC, PlayStation, and Switch. There's your platforms.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Do you remember George Railroad Martin?
George R.R. Martin?
Yeah, I like Railroad. Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea.
Someone just R.R.
The guy who can't seem to finish his damn book?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll stay away from Game of Thrones, but apparently he posted on his blog after the season finale about a bunch of shit. And one line was, I was in Japan consulting on a video game. So then everyone's like, oh yeah, there's a rumor of him working on a FromSoftware title. So the internet was like set ablaze. Like, oh my God, what's a FromSoftware title with George R.R. Martin? Oh my God. But yeah, apparently, so the rumors are something's going to show up at Microsoft press conference, apparently. And who knows? I guess we'll find out soon. So it's super like rumor mill.
The only thing I'll say about this really is that there has been collaborations between GUID writers and video game creators before.
GUID writers?
And either nothing has come about from it.
This is true.
Or it's been fine. There's been very few times where it has been like, oh man, this big prolific person, you know, whether it's a director or a writer or whoever is working on our game, very few times has that ever like worked out and been like, oh my god, this is amazing. So time will tell. Time will tell. And, you know, E3 is around the corner, so
yeah.
The only time I can think of where, and a lot of people may disagree with me, Kingdoms of Amalur, where they brought in a top-notch writer, and it was like kind of a, you know, if you will, a bit of a dream team, where you had a top-notch writer that came in and wrote the story, and then you also had Todd McFarlane come in, and he was doing the art direction on it, like, you know, so... You know, and I personally love the game. I thought it was really good. So, but there's a lot of people that might disagree with me. So, outside of that, I can't think of too many other times where either the game has actually come out or it's just been meh. So,
yeah,
that dude needs to fucking finish his own damn writing. Like, if they're getting this guy to write something for their game. That means the game's going to come out in 2030 for crying out loud because he can never seem to finish it. So there's also that. So be careful what you wish for.
Remember the Ouya?
Oh, yes. The Ouya.
I didn't even realize that Ouya's online store was still running. And I forgot that Razer
bought them
Ouya.
like, what, 2 years ago or whatever it was?
Totally
they bought them?
I forgot about that. So anyway, Razer announced today that they're shutting down the shop. So the device was discontinued a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. I had an Ouya. I got rid of it.
Yeah,
I actually sold it for like what I paid for it.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous?
That is surprising.
It was terrible.
Huh.
The controller.
Yeah, I mean,
terrible.
I don't imagine it was very good.
It was just an Android box with mobile games.
Yep.
The idea was neat, but man, I'm so surprised that's the thing. Like, this is actually still running. I was like, what? I thought that was done.
Yeah.
Well, it's really done.
It was not a great
next month.
It was a good idea that I think just when you don't have development behind something like that, what are you gonna, you know, how are you gonna keep that thing moving forward?
And speaking of weird consoles, Playdate is a bizarre handheld system coming in 2020 that has a hand crank on it. Looks like a little Game Boy. It's black and white.
This thing is so weird.
It's Panic Inc., known for publishing Firewatch and the upcoming Untitled Goose Game, has announced Playdate, a bizarre yellow handheld system with a crank controls and weekly game releases.
I like that they called it bizarre too.
Uses a 2.7-inch 400 by 240 black and white screen, features D-pad, 2 face buttons, and the aforementioned hand crank controls. Will feature 12 brand new games and is set to be released sometime in 2020. It looks neat, like it's a neatly designed little device, but I'm pretty sure I won't be buying it. It looks novel, that's for sure.
It's kind of sad actually because it looks so good. Like looking at the photos and stuff, like it's got a weird hand crank, which like they're literally envisioning like that to be like a gameplay mechanic thing, and like in the it's kind of a square, like it looks kind of like a shrunken Game Boy SP, like it I don't know, but I just,
and it's $150 US.
That's where they lost it for me. That right there,
I think
it's too expensive.
This thing was like kind of pushing it.
like looking at a few of the screenshots that they've got here of the like, it's a black and white screen. Like it is not, it's not high res. Like, I don't know. It's very, that being said, like if the right people were to get involved and like, I guess this thing was to get a bunch of games, like it might be kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like for me, it's just like chicken and egg situation, I guess. Like how many people are going to buy it to get people to make games for it? And if you don't have any games on it, then why are you going to buy it? It kind of reminds me of one of those old Tiger Electronic like game things that you'd buy back in the day. Which is, I don't know. We'll see. I hate that I love how it looks so much though, because like it kind of makes me want to buy one. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, that looks fucking so good though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Next.
It's too much money. If this was
next,
because at $150 American, that's going to be
where the Switch didn't exist.
$200 Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's $200 Canadian.
That's the problem. Like
that's
if this was $100, if this was $100 Canadian, or even
it might be over 200 Canadian with the exchange.
Hold on,
it's a hard pass, and then next.
It is literally $199 Canadian.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good luck. May the force be with you.
I will say, the device ships will cost $150 US. Will include all 12 Season 1 games included in that initial cost. So apparently you're buying the console itself, and then they're releasing
some kind of subscription?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
There's some quick until this thing gets hacked so people can play actual Game Boy games on it.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Valve is making its own version of Dota Auto Chess. Have you played Auto Chess? Do you even know what Auto Chess is? Because I sure as hell fucking don't.
My understanding is you select your like team more or less, and then it plays automatically. Hence, Auto Chess.
Apparently, it's got like 8 million subscribers in Steam's Workshop because it's a mod for Dota.
Yeah,
I believe it's free.
It is.
Valve is going to be making its own version of Auto Chess. And the original mod maker is going to be basically porting the game to mobile with Valve's help. And then Valve will take over and make like a Steam standalone version of the mod.
Interesting.
I guess it's a Chinese dev who made the mod.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's centered around automated battles between heroes that both players purchase from a shared pool. The goal is to try and create combos and synergies between select heroes while also avoiding counters to those particular heroes.
Yeah, so anyway, it's interesting. I kind of just brought it up because I've been hearing this Auto Chess. I'm like, I gotta check this out, I think.
I guess you gotta download Dota then.
Yeah. Nintendo news. We got our first look of Mario Kart. Mario Kart Tour on smartphones. I guess the beta started in Japan. So videos have popped up on Reddit or Reset Era and photos. Apparently it looks pretty good. Apparently the monetization is pretty bad. It is super beta. It's not out. So, I'm sure that stuff will, it's a little early to go crazy on that. But apparently,
I mean, they're saying like this could all change
it's
dramatically.
Got
like
mechanics.
They're trying to say like this is definitely in no way like the end of, they're tweaking it and this and that. So we'll see what this finally looks like when it does actually come out. But
overall, the game is not burning pile of trash. So that's good.
Yeah.
I wonder
it's the gacha mechanics and stuff that kind of worry me. Like I hear about that.
Yeah, for unlocking characters.
Yeah, and also
I can't just buy Luigi.
Right, and also like, is this going to be like, a little bit like Fire Emblem and stuff, where like you get a character and then you get another character, and now you can get like you can combine them to get a 2-star character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they going to do that kind of stuff? Because if that's the case, that sucks. I kind of hate it when they do stuff
Fire Emblem
like that,
Heroes is really good at giving high level characters. I get tons of 5 stars in that. That's the only reason I still have that game installed on my phone, because I've got tons of the best characters. I don't know if I've been super lucky.
Right.
Because to be honest, I think I've only put like $6, maybe $12 into it, because I have played it a lot. So I did buy a couple of like the starter packs.
Right.
But compared to how many, what has been out a couple of years now, and how many 5-star characters I have, like I haven't spent a lot of money.
I haven't spent a dime.
So and I just spend that money because I do kind of like the game, and I feel like they deserved some money. But
right.
Those were like little special packs where you got a guaranteed character unlock. I haven't like been buying orbs to like try my hand at the luck of the draw. Like they just had a new event going on right now, and I got a 5-star of like the one character I wanted, and I'm like, sweet, pretty.
That's
stoked.
cool. Yeah, I don't know. This, I won't lie though. Like what they're talking about with this Mario Kart game, I mean, it sounds like
the game looks cool.
Your character just drives itself, and all you're doing is like
you swipe. It's
swiping back and
controls.
Forth. That is,
it ain't no Mario Kart 8. Like visually, it doesn't look as good as the Switch version. Clearly.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to. It is running on phone, but
I did sign up for the beta, but who knows? I think it was just in Japan and US, so I don't think they even had Canada as a country.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll play it when it comes out for sure.
Yeah.
PlayStation news. Remember that PS5 article from, was it Wired?
Yep.
Where they were talking about, Spider-Man loading in like 0 seconds. I'm exaggerating,
0.8 of a second.
And then like flying through the environment to show how like data streaming for your game engine is like so much superior on PS5. Mm-hmm. There's a video online of, I guess, an investor meeting where they're demoing these load time comparisons to be like, this is next gen on PS5. Anyway, these videos are online and pretty cool to check out.
It is dope, man. Like it
looks neat. The PS5
that looks like
pretty awesome.
If game developers know that is the level of performance that they can expect in every next gen game on those consoles, that is going to be hugely game changing, and like PC gamers are going to have to like get their shit together, because they're going to need to like make sure that they've got NVMe drives and like SSDs. I was thinking
this
stuff.
Money that's burning a hole in my pocket is probably going to be for a new PC next year when the PS5 comes out.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. So it's all stuff that we already heard and read from that PS5 reveal article, so you can actually see it for yourself. So
yeah, and it is cool. It is definitely neat.
PlayStation has also set up a new film and TV division. Sony Interactive's PlayStation Productions will produce movies and TV series based on games.
Because so far this has worked out so well for them. They've really managed to get that Uncharted movie out there and into production.
The new PlayStation division wants to give our world's life in another spectrum. PlayStation Productions is being led by, I cannot pronounce that guy's name, 11-year Assad.
Oh, I don't know. Like,
it's Assad something.
Yes.
Quizilbash.
And overseen by Sean Layden.
Yeah, 11-year veteran of PlayStation Marketing Group. Yeah, and Sean Layden, which we all know from Sony SIE Worldwide Studios. So that's cool. We're going to get our PlayStation Cinematic Universe. Huh?
It's just so... It's just so funny to me, because like so far they've literally managed to... They made a Ratchet and Clank movie. And they've been trying to make an Uncharted movie for 10 years now.
Apparently they attempted to make a Gran Turismo movie.
They announced that they were making a Gran Turismo movie, which also has not gone anywhere. So yeah, I'll be curious to see if by making a new division that will help. And then I guess the next question is did we need this? Like, I guess we'll see.
Better oversight than no oversight. You avoid having something happen like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, Sega's involved in that. Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what that redesign turns out to be like.
Yeah.
Public service announcements. Sims 4 is free on PC currently. Yay. On Origin. So you can, again, you can click on the show notes. It's got a story there with links to redeem that. Or you can, just search it up yourself if you feel so inclined. But hey, free games, get it.
Yeah, totally. Why not, right?
Game Pass announced a bunch of new stuff coming in a couple weeks. Metal Gear Survive, Banner Saga, Void Bastards, Dead by Daylight, Banner Saga 2, Full Metal Furries, Super Hot, and Outer Wilds. I just thought it was kind of neat because Outer Wilds, I think, is brand new, isn't it?
It's pretty new.
Yeah, I believe it might have just came out. So it's joining Game Pass. And then Metal Gear Survive for, everyone who was interested in that.
I know I'm not, but...
As Game Pass is...
Maybe there's somebody out there that is interested in playing it.
Game Pass is pretty rad. I wish the price was less and included gold.
It is.
I know they have the merged program, but it should be $10 a month.
Yeah.
Speaking of Xbox, they have the biggest backwards compatibility sale on right now. And it goes until the 27th. So by the time this podcast comes out, you got a 4 more days to take advantage of this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like, 240 titles?
There's a lot, yeah.
Apparently. They have a section in the store. I was actually browsing it before I sat down to record here. And some of the games are like upwards of 75% off. Like a couple bucks.
Wow.
I have a lot of... I was going through because it shows you what you own. If you own it digitally, it shows up as, you own this. But then there's so many games that I have on disc that are backwards compatible.
Yep.
And I'm like, I own a lot of the really good ones. I'm like, I got to go buy this. And like, I must have bought this on a sale on 360 because there's a couple games I was specifically logging into to buy. And I'm like, I already own them. Okay. Right. I guess I don't have to spend any money.
Lucky.
Xbox is killing it with backwards compatibility. It's pretty awesome.
They're definitely making Sony and their whole thing of like, we don't really care. This look like we're stupid. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's it for public service announcements. Moving along, our free for all section. As I alluded to at the top of the show, I saw Detective Pikachu on the weekend.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika. That movie is pretty fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I've heard really good things so far.
There's some really laugh out loud moments. Ryan Reynolds was quite good as Pikachu. Most of the cute Pikachus were really cute, and you just wanted to cuddle them. Some of them were like pure nightmare fuel.
Awesome. That's what you want.
But it was overall, it exceeded my expectations. It's a good movie. It's not an amazing movie, but it's a good, solid movie, and probably the best video game movie to exist.
I feel like that is everything that you just said still feels like it's better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, it absolutely does. There's a couple parts in the story where I thought were a little, I don't know, you could see it coming from a mile away.
Right.
And there was a couple unnecessary Hollywood-esque CG sections are like, why? That just made no sense for the story. But, Mewtwo's in there and
right.
Pikachu, and there's so many, when he's going through the city, there's so many freaking Pokemon, you're just distracted looking at them all. Like, it's like, it's kind of like Ready Player One. You got to go back and go in slow motion to see all the Pokemon that are in it because there are so many.
I could see that,
and it kind of makes a world that doesn't have Pokemon less exciting.
Wow,
make me wish that Pokemon were real.
Okay then,
because I want little buddy Detective Pikachu.
Except that most people couldn't understand him and stuff, so it wouldn't be nearly as cool.
I could understand him.
Oh, of course, because
I'm a Pokemon master.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Good.
And then I'm hoping to see John Wick 3 before the next time we sit down and record.
Yeah, I really wanted to see John Wick 3. I still want to see Pokemon, but Aladdin comes out this weekend.
Pokemon!
So I'm pretty much guaranteed that my wife and I will be going to see Aladdin this weekend.
Yeah, we'll be seeing Aladdin too on Saturday.
So
I hear split things.
I'm real nervous about that movie.
I've seen stories that are like,
Aladdin,
it's awesome, and then I've seen stories like it's not awesome.
Yeah,
and that's exactly it. Like, come on, Aladdin is like one of the best animated movies ever.
Yeah, it is my favorite Disney animated film.
Like Robin Williams, Genie, like freaking amazing.
Yeah,
it's like my daughter's favorite. It's my daughter's favorite movie.
Yep.
So she wants to see it. So I hope it's not too scary because she is only almost 3 years old.
Right.
So I'm worried about that. I think we might be okay.
Maybe
she keeps saying she's like the Cave of Wonders is not scary.
Right.
Because she used to be scared of the Cave of Wonders. We had to fast forward past the Cave of Wonders. But now she's like, the Cave of Wonders is not scary.
What you could always do is do what my, parents used to do back in the day is one of you or both of you goes and watches it, and then you decide like, okay, this is
she's coming. It is
scary or
Grandma's
not.
there. We're all there.
Right, well.
Cousins there. Aunt and uncle are there. It's a big group of us going. So just hoping she doesn't get scared. And I guess there's two of us, so one of us can leave the theater.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Fair enough.
I guess we'll have that to talk about next week. Dane, I think we have an episode 205.
205, baby.
A shorty but a giddy.
Bites. Yeah. Short and sweet, as they say.
You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no KRICF.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're Geekoholics everywhere.
All around you.
Also, leave us a review on iTunes or that Apple Podcast app. If you haven't, why? Because those are, the benchmark for podcast reviews, which help you get discovered in all forms of
it also helps us to get into shows and make more content for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're doing okay. I think we might have got a couple new reviews on iTunes, but
yay!
The more the merrier. I don't understand why Android doesn't have like a good review. Like, you can't review podcasts on Google Podcasts, can you? I don't think you can.
I don't know that you can, actually.
Yeah, it's like great. They do podcasts, but there's like no features, and their app really sucks. It's like the worst podcast app.
They're saying that they're working on it, but as of yet, it's still kind of...
This is Google. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. They say, that they want to be the best.
They want to be the best around. Podcast app.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
You're on your own there.
Yeah. Okay, Dane, let's get out of here. Episode 205 is in the gigabits in your ear holes. Thank you, everyone, for checking in. We will see you next week.
Later, suckers.
Peace.